Hi YouTube, Timothy Unkert here. In this video, we're going to take the data in this Google Sheets document and we're going to download it to a CSV file. We're going to store that CSV file in the same folder as a Python program that we're going to create. And the Python program is going to take the data from the CSV file, store it in a dictionary, and then write to a text file. And we're going to do just some small calculations to figure out the class average. Okay, now I have this Google Sheets here, and this is just basically a bunch of names and a bunch of fake grades for this imaginary class. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is just go here and go down to download, and I want to basically download it as a comma separated values file. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to click show in folder. It's going to be in my downloads folder. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to then cut the file, go to my Linux files, go to the folder that I'm going to make my Python program in, and then paste it in there. And then let's just rename it as something like grades.csv, something simple. Okay, and now I'll close out my browser. And what I'm going to do is close this out and open up a text editor. And the first thing we want to import is a module in Python that helps with this, and that's called the CSV module. So I'm going to import CSV. And I'm also going to create a variable called sum, which I'm going to set equal to 0, and another variable called n, which I'm going to set equal to 0. And then we'll get started with the rest of our program. Okay, so we're going to want to open this CSV file. So I'm going to say with open and then grades.csv, and we're going to read the file. And let's open it as grades file. And then let's say we're going to use a thing called a CSV reader method. So I'll just say reader. I'll set some variable reader equal to, or set an object equal to CSV reader. And then I'm going to pass in the name of the file, which is the grades file. Okay. And I'm going to then create a grades dictionary. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to just name the dictionary grades underscore DICT. Set that equal to then first curly braces and then rows. The first row is going to be row 0. And then we'll say rows 1 for rows in reader. Okay. All right. So that's going to read it to a dictionary, and we can confirm that by just printing the grades dictionary. If I want to save this and then open up a terminal, and then I'm going to type Python 3 and then the name of the file to run it. And you'll see that we have this dictionary printed out that has the top header, the name and the grade, and then Tim 99, Brad 76, Sarah 100, the various grades, and so on. Okay, so we've got that. All right, so I'm going to now get rid of this line because we don't really need it. And now we want to write what we've gotten into our dictionary into our text file and maybe do some calculations with that. So I'm going to say with open, then grades.text, and we're going to create this file. We're going to append to it. Let's give it an encoding equal to UTF-8, and we'll say as text underscore file. Try and be descriptive in our names. And I'm going to now access the dictionary, the items in the dictionary, by saying for key, comma, value in grades underscore DICT for dictionary, dot items. We're going to use a method called dot items. What I'm going to do now is I am going to write to the text file. So I'm going to do text file.write, and then I'm going to have the key, and then I'm going to append a colon and a space, and then I'm going to append the value. Okay. After I do that for each line, I'm going to break and go down to the next line. So I want to do that by writing, not warning, writing is giving me the wrong auto suggest there. And then I'm just going to write a line break in. Okay. And we'll save it at this point. Let's run it and see what we get created for a text file before we start with the calculation. So I'm going to open up a terminal again. I'm going to run this program. And I notice that I have a small little issue. Okay, yep. And the issue was I forgot to put the colon here, and I forgot to indent these. So, all right, so we'll save it again. And now what we're going to do is we'll run it. Okay, so it's ran. And if we list out the files, we see that we've got this grades.txt file created. I'm going to exit out of here, and I'm going to open up my file explorer here. And I see that now I've got the name of the grade, and then Tim, :99, Brad, :76, Sarah, :100. So we've written the comma separated value file to the text file. So that's kind of cool. But now maybe we want to do an average. Now I know you can do this in Google Sheets, and you can do it in Excel very easily. You can come up with an average, but maybe after the fact, we want to do it with a text file. It might be kind of fun to do, just to do some calculations with dictionary items. So let's do that, okay? So after this line, I'm going to say if a value doesn't equal grade. Now, why am I saying that? Well, let's look again at the text file here. So basically, I want to get the values for my class average, but I don't want to include this string called grade because I'm going to have to change all of these into integers, and it's going to throw an error if I include grade. So I'm going to exclude that, and that's excluding that with this if value does not equal grade, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sum, and I'm going to add to the sum. Remember, we started the sum at 0. I'm going to add to the sum the value converted to an integer. So I pass that into the integer method. And then out of there, I'm going to also, every time through this for loop, I'm going to add 1 to n, which starts at 0, because to figure out the class average, we have to find the sum first and then divide by the number of values. Okay. So I'm going to move out of this for loop, and I'm going to say average equals sum divided by n. And it gave me a little bit of an odd autocomplete there. And then I'm going to say text file dot write, and I'm going to write the class average. And I'm going to now let's concatenate on the average, and I need to convert that to a string because I have a string here. So I can't do a string and an integer. Unless I use an F string, I could do that. But let's just concatenate and change it to a string. And I want the average rounded to 2 decimal places, so I'm going to pass the average into the round method. And I'm going to then say the average and that I want it rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay, I'm going to save it. I'm going to open my terminal. First thing I'm going to do, since I'm appending, is I'm going to remove any text files that were created when we ran the program before. So I'm going to do that. I'm now going to list out the files. So we only have the Python file and the CSV file. Now I can run it. So I'm going to run Python 3 and then CSV to dictionary.py. Okay, I ran it. If I list out, I see that I got a grades.txt file created. I'm going to exit out of here. Let's open that file up and see what we got. Okay, so now we can see we've got all the grades and we've got the class average at the bottom. So that's kind of fun. I think this was a good lesson on how to take a CSV file, store it as a dictionary in Python, and then use that dictionary, go through the dictionary, and output it on a different type of file. If you found this interesting, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications, as it really helps the channel grow. I thank you for watching. If you also want to follow me on some of my social platforms, I'll leave links to those in the description below. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.